It's not easy to paint fine lines with a brush. So we're going to have a look now and experiment and see if we can solve some of the problems with this little fine brush. I have some canvas here. It's sealed canvas. You see it's primed on one side. You do need a good sealed surface to paint on, whether you're using oils or acrylic. We use the same surface. I've got plenty of undercoat there. You practice like this. Just pull up. Now the thing is, I'm holding my brush with a finger and thumb. That's the first thing that's most important. If you hold it like this or you try to paint a line, you're not going to get those little thin lines. Now there's another thing I want to show you, and this is very serious. It is an acquired skill. And what I mean by an acquired skill is you've taught this hand, well I've taught this hand over 40 years to pick up the brush, and I can probably paint thin lines without looking at it. But the thing is, if I go to paint with this hand, I'm going to have a problem. Oh, not too bad, but certainly I do not have the control that I've got with this hand, because this hand's been painting for so long. So you do have to give yourself time to acquire the skill, and the way to do that is keep painting. You see this brush? I've got a rubber band on it. Then I've loaded the tip with plenty of paint. There's quite a lot of paint on there. See? Let's see what happens when I hold the rubber band and drag it up the canvas. Makes a nice thin line. That's all there is to it. So it's not just the skill. There's no skill in doing that. The skill is how you hold the brush very softly and bring it up and twiddle it round to make your lines. Practice in dark and then add the dark and light. But the thing is, it's what the background is. If the background's porous, your paint will not come off the brush properly. Now let's just put a little bit more undercoat down here. There we go, and we'll make it like a sky. There we are. Oops, sky's upside down, doesn't matter. And then we'll load the brush. My brush is dirty, but I'll load it with some dark colour. If you want to paint a branch from there to there, and it's got to be somewhere there, you haven't got full control of what the branch is going to look like. If you're copying a photograph, you have to be careful, you have to have a lot of skill. But to get the branch from there to there, you simply hold loosely and drag it up and twist it round and move it over in that direction. What the final branch is going to look like, you have no idea until it's finished. And then if there's a bit missing, that gives you an opportunity to maybe go in there and make another piece. Now you notice my brush was dirty there and we didn't get a dark line. Okay, so it's a combination of three things. Your brush has to be clean and loaded properly with plenty of paint. You have to hold your brush very lightly and not try and control it too much. Just make the branch go from point A somewhere near point B. Reload your brush very often. And the other one is your background. If I try and paint branches on this, even though it's a sealed canvas, I'm not going to get it. So if your paint is dry or there's no paint there, you're not going to get the effect you want. So now if your undercoat does go dry, first of all let's imagine that you have put enough paint on. Thin your brown paint a little bit, and yes, it comes off on the bare canvas when it's thinned out. So it's just a matter of thinning your paint. In fact, it'd come off real well on here, I'd say. Now you can see through it. So the paint needs to be, you can experiment with thicker and thinner paint. That paint was a bit thick there, didn't come off properly. Another bit of water on my brush, we'll do that again. Bit of water. I'd say that thin your paint completely and then try that. Yes, yes, but not too thin because I can see through that paint. And when you're practicing also, don't practice them all up. Practice some long ones along here, like that. They don't have to be perfect. And when you do want to make them perfect, take your time and put it on and bring it up slowly. Twist your brush so they come off well. So I hope that hint helps you with your little brush strokes. I know a few people have been having a problem with it. And if you're not a member of our course, it's free, you can join it. Just come along and you can start anytime you wish. Start from the beginning and work your way through. There's no time limit. Just take your time. See you soon. Bye.